Ladies and gentlemen, let me break it down to you. When a man really misses you, he can't hide it no matter how hard he tries. See, men like to think they're smooth, like they got everything under control, like they can keep their feelings tucked away in some secret place. But the truth is, when the right woman is missing from his life, it shows. It shows in his eyes, it shows in his tone, it shows in his actions, and it shows in the little ways he starts reaching out without even realizing what he's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, when a man really misses you, it's not about what he says, it's about what he does. See, anybody can talk. Anybody can put words together and say, I miss you, or I was thinking about you. But talk without action doesn't carry weight. The truth about how a man feels is never in his mouth, it's in his movements. If he's missing you, you'll see it in the way he reaches out. You'll see it in the way he keeps finding reasons to connect. You'll see it in the way he just can't stay away, no matter how much pride or ego tells him to. That's because missing someone has a way of breaking down barriers. It forces action. It pushes him to step beyond words and show you something real. Now, here's the thing. A man can try to play it cool. He can try to act like everything's fine, but his actions will always tell on him. When he's missing you, he'll pick up his phone without even realizing it, scrolling through old messages just to feel connected again. He might send that just checking in text, and it sounds casual, but it's really his heart testing the waters to see if he still has access to you. He might like a picture on your social media, not because it's new, but because he's looking for some kind of way to remind you he's still there. He may even pop up where you are using the excuse that he just happened to be around. But the truth is, that's his missing you in action. He doesn't even have to say it. His behavior is saying it loud enough. A lot of men were raised to believe that showing emotion is weakness. They'll say to themselves, don't call her, don't text her, don't let her know you're thinking about her. But the funny thing is, missing someone doesn't respect those rules. Missing someone breaks through pride and ego because the heart doesn't know how to lie for long. Sooner or later, the actions slip out. He shows up when you didn't expect him. He checks on you when he doesn't need to. He remembers details about your life that other people would forget. These are not random. These are not meaningless. These are his actions screaming what his mouth is too stubborn to admit. And you know what else happens. When a man misses you, his actions become more consistent. It's not about one big gesture. It's about the pattern you start to notice. He calls you more than once. He checks in more than once. He puts in effort again and again. That consistency is proof, because nobody can fake that for long. Anybody can do something one time to look good, but consistency takes feeling. And missing you gives him the fuel to keep showing up. It gives him a reason to keep moving in your direction, even when his ego says stay still. Actions fueled by longing don't just happen once. They repeat until the message is clear. Now, ladies, I want you to think about how actions always reveal more than words. A man can say, I care about you, but if you don't see it in what he does, those words don't mean much. On the other hand, a man can be quiet, not say a whole lot, but if his actions keep pulling him toward you, that's the truth you need to see. Missing you will show up in the details. It's in the way he makes time for you even when he's busy. It's in the way he keeps checking if you're okay. It's in the way he supports you even when he doesn't have to. Those things don't come from just anybody. They come from somebody whose heart won't let him rest without you. There's also something powerful about how actions reveal urgency. When a man misses you, there's a sense of urgency in the way he moves. He doesn't want too much time to pass. He doesn't want distance to grow. So his actions push him to close the gap. Maybe he sends a message late at night when he can't sleep. Maybe he calls during the day just to hear your voice. Maybe he goes out of his way to make sure you're good. That urgency is not random. It's proof that your absence is not sitting easy with him. It's proof that his longing is bigger than his pride, and his behavior is the evidence. And don't forget this. Actions are honest even when words are not. Words can be rehearsed, words can be disguised, words can be twisted, but behavior, real behavior, comes from a deeper place. When a man is missing you, his actions betray him in the best way. They uncover what he's been trying to hide. They reveal what he's been too stubborn to say. They show you what his pride has been covering up. And that's why you can trust actions more than words, because actions don't lie. They may be subtle, but they always carry the truth. So ladies and gentlemen, when you want to know if a man misses you, don't focus on what comes out of his mouth. Pay attention to what comes out of his life. Watch how he moves. Watch how he reaches out. Watch how he shows up again and again. That's where the truth is. Missing you will always show itself in action because the heart can only stay quiet for so long before it finds a way to reveal what it feels deep inside. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When a man truly misses you, pride will try to hold him back. Pride will tell him, don't call, don't text, don't show her you care. Keep it cool. Act like you're unbothered. But the truth is, the heart always finds a way to break through. You can only fake strength for so long before feelings start showing themselves in ways you can't hide. That's why when a man misses you, you'll notice that no matter how much he tries to mask it with pride, his heart keeps slipping out in the things he does, in the way he moves, in the energy he brings toward you. See, men are raised in a world where ego gets a lot of attention. We're taught from an early age not to show weakness, not to let emotions control us, not to let anyone think we're vulnerable. So when a man feels himself missing somebody, he's fighting two battles. On one hand, his pride is saying, nah, don't let her see you soft. Don't let her know she's on your mind. But on the other hand, his heart is saying, man, I can't take this silence. I can't take this distance. I need to feel that connection again. That's where the real conflict happens. And more often than not, the heart wins. That's why you'll see him reach out when you least expect it. That's why you'll hear from him in moments where you thought he had moved on. Pride may delay him, but it can't stop what's real. The reason pride gets in the way is because pride is about control. A man wants to control the narrative. He wants to appear strong. He wants to look like he's in charge of his emotions. But here's the thing, missing someone is not logical. It's not something you can schedule or control. It creeps up on you in the quiet moment, in the late night hours, in the middle of the day, when a memory just hits. And when that happens, pride doesn't stand a chance because the heart doesn't care about appearances. It just cares about relief. That's why men will break their own rules. That's why they'll do things they swore they wouldn't do just to feel that closeness again. Now, ladies, here's where it gets real interesting. A man may try to disguise his actions. He may call you with some excuse like, oh, I just wanted to ask you something real quick, or I just happen to be in your area. But those are just covers. What's really happening is his heart pushed him to make contact. His heart told him, find a reason, any reason to close this gap. That's why I say pride can delay, but it can't stop. Because no matter how clever a man thinks he's being, the real motive always shines through. And if you pay attention, you'll see it clear as day. What you'll also notice is that missing you forces him to compromise with himself. He might have told his friends, I'm done. He might have told himself, I'm moving on. But then you see him double back. Why? Because his heart isn't aligned with his pride. His pride says one thing, but his heart says another. And when those two go to war, the heart usually finds a way to win. That's why you can't take a man's first reaction as the final answer. Sometimes he needs that quiet time to wrestle with himself before he realizes he can't ignore what he feels. And when he does, his actions will make it obvious that the heart has spoken louder than the ego. And I want you to really think about this. When a man misses you, pride may keep him from saying the exact words, but the heart will sneak out in ways he can't control. He'll start showing up in your world again. He'll make sure you notice he's still present. He'll do little things that remind you he's thinking about you. Maybe he'll comment on something small that only he would remember. Maybe he'll reach out when something important happens in your life. Maybe he'll find a way to be there without you asking. These things are not random. They are the heart leaking through the cracks of pride. The truth is, the stronger the feeling, the harder it is to hide. A man can act tough all day. He can play the role of being unbothered, but deep down, missing someone he truly cares about eats away at him. And the funny part is, the more he tries to hide it, the more obvious it becomes, because effort to suppress only makes the actions more noticeable. That late night call, that random message, that sudden interest in your life, it all comes from the same place, his heart refusing to stay silent. Pride can't cover that up forever. And let me just tell you, there's a beauty in watching how the heart works when pride steps aside. You see a man's realness when he can no longer fake like he doesn't care. You see his truth in those moments when he breaks his own rules to reach you. That's when you know it's not about the image he wants to portray. It's about the connection he can't live without. And even though he may never admit it straight out, Even though he may never say, yeah, I missed you so much I had to reach out, his behavior will make it crystal clear. His heart will speak through his actions, louder than his pride ever could. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, this pride may hold him for a while. It may keep him quiet. It may even make him act distant. But the heart doesn't know how to stay hidden. When a man misses you, you will see it in the breaks, in the slip-ups, in the unplanned moments where his love overrides his ego. Because missing you isn't something he can bury. It's something that shows up no matter how hard he tries to suppress it. Ladies and gentlemen, when a man misses you, one of the clearest signs is how his energy changes whenever he's around you or even just talking to you. You can always tell when somebody's spirit is stirred up. And that's exactly what happens when a man is missing someone he truly values. See, you don't even have to wait for him to say the words, because his whole demeanor starts speaking for him. You notice it in the way he looks at you, in the way he listens a little more carefully, in the way his body language betrays the cool front he's trying to put up. That energy can't be faked, and it can't be hidden, because it leaks out in all the little details he doesn't even realize he's showing. When a man misses you, his eyes give him away before his mouth ever does. The eyes are the windows of the soul, and they can't lie. He might try to play it smooth. He might try to act like nothing is bothering him. But the second his eyes lock on you, you'll feel the weight of what he's been holding inside. His gaze lingers a little too long. He gets caught staring when he thinks you're not looking, and when he finally looks away, you can still feel the residue of that connection. That's what happens when a man is holding back unspoken emotions. He doesn't have to say, I miss you, because his eyes already delivered the message. Another way his energy shifts is in his tone. Pay attention to how a man sounds when he talks to you after he's been missing you. His voice softens. It carries more emotion, even if he's just asking simple questions. You'll notice he lingers on the conversation a little longer, like he doesn't want it to end too quickly. And if you really listen, you'll hear the difference between casual conversation and heartfelt connection. That difference comes from a place deep inside of him, a place that's been yearning for closeness, and when he finally gets the chance, his tone betrays him. He can try to keep his words casual, but the delivery tells the real story. Now let's talk about body language, because that's where a man's subconscious really gives him away. He may try to act like he's relaxed, but his body is saying something different. Maybe he leans in a little closer when you're talking. Maybe he mirrors your movements without realizing it. Maybe he fidgets with his hands because he's nervous and doesn't know how to channel all that bottled up energy. These are signs that the connection he's been missing is stirring him up on the inside. The body doesn't lie, and when a man misses you, every gesture, every movement, every subtle action is evidence of how much he's been holding back. And here's something that might surprise you. When a man misses you, even silence becomes meaningful. Think about those moments when you're sitting together and there's no need for constant words. That silence isn't empty. It's charged with everything he hasn't said yet, everything he's been carrying in his heart. Silence becomes the space where you feel his longing the strongest, because sometimes what isn't spoken is louder than what is. When a man truly misses you, even the quiet between you is filled with emotion. You'll also notice how his attention sharpens. A man who misses you is not distracted when he's in your presence. Suddenly, the phone isn't as important. The outside world doesn't pull at him the same way. He locks into you. He pays attention to details he might have missed before. He remembers things you said in passing, and he brings them up later to show you he's been listening. That attentiveness is not an accident. It's his heart making sure you know he values the moment. Because he's been craving that connection. Even the smallest gestures become amplified when a man misses you. Maybe he offers to help with little things he normally wouldn't think about. Maybe he goes out of his way to make sure you're comfortable, to show up for you, to remind you he's present. These gestures may seem small on the surface, but they carry the weight of unspoken emotions. They are his way of closing the distance without saying the words directly. Actions have a language of their own, and when a man misses you, those actions start speaking loud and clear. And let me point out something else. When a man misses you, there's a certain nervousness that comes with it. He might stumble over his words. He might laugh a little more than usual. He might even get quiet because he's overwhelmed by what he feels. That nervous energy is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of care. It's the physical manifestation of the tension between wanting to stay composed and being unable to hide how deeply he feels your absence. That nervousness is his heart betraying the mask his pride is trying to wear. The truth is, when a man misses you, his whole energy shifts. You feel it in the room. You feel it in the conversation. You feel it in the way he shows up. No matter how hard he tries to keep it cool, the change is undeniable. That shift is the heart speaking through presence, tone, silence, and action. And while he may not put it into words right away, his energy tells the story for him. And it's a story you'll always recognize if you pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most powerful lessons about relationships is that missing someone teaches a man the difference between simply having company and truly experiencing connection. See, a lot of people confuse the two. Company is just about having someone there to fill a space, to keep the silence from being too loud, to distract from loneliness. But connection, that's a whole different level. Connection is about the soul being engaged, the heart being stirred, the mind being present. And when a man misses you, that's when he realizes that no amount of casual company can ever replace the depth of connection. When a man has company, it can be temporary, convenient, or even superficial. It's easy to find people to sit with, text with, or hang around. But when he's had that taste of real connection with you, the kind where you're not just talking, but truly being understood, the kind where he doesn't have to pretend, the kind where he feels both challenged and comforted, suddenly company just won't cut it anymore. That's the wake-up call that comes when he misses you. He sees the gap between just having someone present and having someone who matters. Think about it. Company doesn't require depth, but connection does. Company doesn't require vulnerability, but connection demands it. Company doesn't require him to grow, but connection inspires him to become better. And when he's sitting there missing you, he's not thinking about just wanting somebody next to him. He's thinking about how nothing feels the same without that bond, without that presence that makes him feel seen and valued. That's why missing you hits so deeply. It reminds him that he can be surrounded by people and still feel alone if the connection isn't there. When a man misses you, he begins to reflect on the difference you made in his life without even trying. He remembers the conversations that sparked something inside him, the laughter that lifted the weight of the world, the comfort of knowing he didn't have to perform to be accepted. He realizes that those things can't be duplicated by just anyone. He can't replace connection with noise. He can't substitute presence with distraction. Missing you exposes that truth to him in a way nothing else can. Another thing that happens when a man misses you is he starts to notice the emptiness of surface level interactions. He may go out, he may keep himself busy, he may even try to find company elsewhere, but at the end of the day, he feels that void. Because company can fill a room, but connection fills the heart. And once you've had that real bond, the shallow stuff doesn't satisfy anymore. That's the power of what you brought into his life. It set a new standard that company alone can't measure up to. And here's the real beauty of it. Missing you teaches him to value what he may have overlooked before. Sometimes people don't fully appreciate what they have until it's absent. When you're around, he may not always notice the details, but when you're not, those details come rushing back. The way you listened, the way you supported, the way you pushed him to be more. That's when he sees the truth. That company is about being occupied, but connection is about being transformed. And the absence of that transformation creates a hunger that company can never satisfy. A man who misses you also starts to recognize how rare genuine connection really is. Company is common. Anybody can provide it, but true connection, that's scarce. And when he misses you, he realizes how blessed he was to experience it. He sees that not everyone will get him. Not everyone will understand his silence. Not everyone will support his dreams or call him out when he's slipping. That awareness is born out of longing, because missing someone strips away all the illusions and shows you what truly matters. You'll notice that when a man is in that space of missing you, he often tries to recreate the connection in small ways. Maybe he replays old conversations in his head. Maybe he revisits places you shared. Maybe he listens to songs that remind him of you. What he's doing is chasing that feeling of connection, because no amount of casual company can fill the emotional space you left behind. And even if he tries to deny it, even if he tells himself he's fine, his actions reveal that what he's truly missing is not just a person. It's the bond he had with you. Missing you becomes a teacher for him. It teaches him that fulfillment doesn't come from just being around people. It comes from being around the right person. It teaches him that peace doesn't come from distraction. It comes from authenticity. It teaches him that joy doesn't come from temporary fixes. It comes from meaningful bonds. That's the lesson of absence, and it's often more powerful than anything presence could teach, because absence forces him to reflect, to appreciate, and to acknowledge that what he had with you was not ordinary. The distinction between company and connection becomes crystal clear in those moments of missing you. He learns that company can ease the mind for a while, but connection nourishes the soul. He learns that company can fill a seat at the table, but connection fills the heart in a way nothing else can. And he learns that company can be found in many places, but connection, the kind that leaves an imprint, that kind is once in a lifetime. And once a man has tasted that, once he's experienced the difference, missing you makes him understand that no substitute will ever be enough.